If you're lucky to catch something interesting and rare, then you can easily say that you have the jackpot. In addition, many photos and videos can be truly amazing, so people from all around the world will talk about them. And why am I trying to describe it to you? You can see it for yourself. Well, what if you're the only one to engage in some kind of hobby for entertainment and recreation? The snake may also want to learn something new, maybe even dancing. Now, talented people see beauty even in the simplest things, and most importantly, they know how to create it with their own hands. Follow this girl, and she will show you an unusual and wonderful view. Sometimes snakes have a very boring life, and then they begin to invent the most unexpected and sophisticated ways to entertain themselves. We all know that every creature on this planet has its own will and desires, and this snake on the screen seems to reach a whole new level when it decides to take the most uncomfortable pose. It's just that she plays football professionally on weekends. What are the main features of Brazil? Carnivals, football, and of course, this statue in Rio. Not only people but animals hate raging bad weather. Moreover, they are even willing to pass the time in close contact with each other. Have you always dreamed of Bugatti, but it's too expensive? These guys found a way out by collecting it from improvised means, and it turned out very impressive. By the way, the original car is assembled manually, so this is a tribute to the original. Have you watched videos of cozy breakfasts in the pool from Bali? These guys were inspired by them. He is the true knight of the roads. If we didn't know that these stunning views can be found in distant Iceland, one would think that we are looking at footage from some new science fiction film. Here we can see how the technologies of our days are leaving the past far behind. This is probably one of the most spectacular and brutal fireworks that we have ever seen. Judging by the realistic facial expressions of this robot, the future has already come. Would you be able to sleep in such a cozy bedroom? This guy loves skiing so much that even with the onset of summer, the winter season never ends. How much money do you need to win in a casino to drive a racing card through it? What an incredibly mesmerizing choreography! And if you can count the number of hands this girl has, we want to show you respect. In the south of Mauritius, in the Indian Ocean, there is an incredibly impressive phenomenon called an underwater waterfall. In fact, this is an optical illusion caused by a strong undercurrent, but it still looks very impressive. I wonder how many hours they spent rehearsing, but their synchronous actions are just perfect. Of course, we could not leave you without a spectacular dismantling of the bridge in our selection. Would you have eaten such a portion of cotton candy? In fact, this is an ordinary cloud which has turned into a real miracle. We're ready to bet that he will still get into the basket in front of him with the third throw. Trust your eyes. The one who seems to be a beautiful girl may turn out to be Albert Einstein. Now we will inspire you to finish the repairs quickly. At this stadium, 8 different events took place during 8 days. Now you can take a look at the time lapse to see how it was refitted every day. The passengers of this liner found themselves in the middle of the sea in an incredibly strong storm. Do you think that only new and super expensive cars can surprise you with something special? You're wrong. A real hidden gem can be anywhere. The luck of this hero saved the whole birthday. Nature decided to say that her son has a twin brother with the help of an optical illusion. People in China know how to pay homage to dragons in a way that is truly aesthetic and impressive. I wonder how many attempts they made before they succeeded. This is how Dominic Toretto's son has fun. It may seem to you for a moment that you are somewhere on another planet, but that's not the case. These incredible views can be found in Arizona. You can witness them with your own eyes. This brave fish gets its food from the teeth of a shark, and the predator will remain with a snow-white smile. Do you know that GTA San Andreas is based on real events? And you can easily meet CJ on the streets of the city. The main thing is to avoid wearing purple. What an unexpected twist from a small bird. This kingfisher managed to shock us for sure. Has this man behind the glass hired an invisible man? Or maybe we don't know something. Who would you bet on in this competition? Share it in the comments below. It would be a fatal mistake not to calculate the angle of incidence here. How many dancing people do you see here? The most fun rides can be found in Thailand. This is not the most successful track for a Lamborghini, but it can do it with tracks. As you can see, 3D drawings on the street are reaching a whole new level. Imagine how powerful the engine of this helicopter is if it can easily carry off a 28-ton plane. Perhaps this is not the most accurate way to control the ship, but it has the cleanest deck. This is the best place to park so no one will steal your transport for sure. What does it take to cross a few meters of water? 4 wheels and a good springboard. This guy seems to know everything about hand skills and proper balance. Just take a look at the trick he can do underwater, and it takes years of training. Have you ever seen how skyscrapers are washed after dust storms from the outside? Then you have a chance to witness this mind-blowing event. Now, take a look at the screen. If you've ever wanted to go to hell, this guy can show you the right way. If there is bad weather, then at least let it look as impressive as this one. Balance, strength, stretching, and flexibility, she clearly looks like a person who has improved her body to the maximum level. With such makeup, this four-legged friend can get a role in some cartoons. Seeing such a thing at the start of a street race, Dominic Toretto will step aside. Imagine what speed this thing develops on the water if it needs a parachute to stop. This is one of those guys who won't let out a can of beer under any circumstances. Just imagine how powerful the engine of this device is if it can incredibly easily climb a sand wall. The bridge is certainly beautiful, but its dismantling looks even cooler. When the F-22 Raptor makes a vertical takeoff, it looks spectacular, but it's even cooler to look at it from the cockpit. This is one of the reasons why Paris is called a magical city. They say that children who behave particularly badly are sent by their parents to this attraction. And that's what it means to keep a positive attitude in any conditions. This guy clearly lives in the universe of the Final Destination movie. However, he used cheat codes for immortality. You can consider it to be a great success if you never meet a driver of a white car on the road. This is what happens when the son of your mother's friend comes into play. Like this video if you also want to take the winnings in such a slot machine. It looks like these are other lucky champions in the bottle opening challenge. Luck has been on the side of this guy since the first years of his life. It's hard to understand everything at once. It seems like you need to keep a close eye on the road, but how can you take your eyes off such cute creatures on the side of the road? No, there's nothing unusual, just some weirdo decided to drive a giant shoe. Everything is simple and clear. Looking at this man, you might think that he is not skating, but just floating on the ice. His movements are so smooth and easy. This beautiful lady is definitely protected from all misfortunes. Perhaps the lawn was damaged, which cannot be said about the owner of the Audi, who still entered the turn at the very last moment. It's quite possible that in 50 years they will tell their grandchildren how lucky they were on this day. The party was almost over, but strong glass and luck saved them. This guy clearly tested his luck, and this time he won. This is a good reason to wear a helmet on the baseball field if you're not as lucky. It seems we have a basketball star here. How many points can he be given for such a throw? And how many attempts would it take you to get it? Judging by the man's reaction, he managed to find something incredibly valuable among the other stones. That's what it means to really shine on stage. Sometimes modern art is impressive, even in its most extravagant forms. In this case, I can only give you one piece of advice. If you see this sea monster on the street, run as fast as you can. Run and don't stop. After seeing this in real life, you won't even immediately understand how to react correctly. And what if some creepy mud monster comes out of there? I urgently need such a glass for tonight. Will you join my company? I'd like to add such a smart robot to the house of every girl who likes to say, "Honey, I have nothing to wear." It can create a whole new look every single day. By having such magical skills, it would be nice to send this young man to study at Hogwarts. I can assume that such an optical illusion has really scared more than one driver. At the same time, there are many drivers who see no obstacles on the road. And this is not how I imagined a hot air balloon flight. That is something truly different. And now we have a visual illustration of the last nerve cell after a hard working week. Did you recognize yourself, hard workers? Do you think there are some underwater water lilies in front of you? Now take a closer look, and don't ask any unnecessary questions. I don't know myself, to be honest. I will say only one thing: wow. At first glance, you might think that some kind of space balloon landed on Earth, maybe even with aliens inside. However, this is what a new architectural project in Las Vegas looks like. The appearance is astonishing. Can I assume you're in shock right now too? And you know, something that seems incredible to us now may be the most common thing in the future. In the summer heat, you just want to plunge into cool water and drink a refreshing drink. And while you're only imagining it in your mind, someone has already worked hard to make their brilliant idea come true. Caution, someone's eyes are watching you. I'm kidding. It's just the stunning color of butterfly wings that makes you think about that. I can't understand, did they pay only half the price for the driver's services? Why would he decide that only the front of the vehicle would be enough? You can do a lot of things to protect your car from damage. They say that really lucky gamers launch games only in this way. It seems that someone here did not correctly understand the meaning of the perfect parking. I wonder how they can get out of this situation now. The ball came back to explain to her exactly which track it should be thrown on. Initially, he planned it that way, and as you know, tough guys don't turn back. Have you ever seen a cooler way to give a double high five? With such dexterity, the glass in his phone will always be intact. Falling after an unsuccessful jump on a springboard is usually the most traumatic thing, but not for this guy. Do you still think that a boat with a good engine is expensive? Would you like to get to work in the morning on such a bus? This will definitely give you a charge for the whole day. This is probably the most unusual kite we've ever seen. In general, this is what the usual pastime of almost all geniuses of physics looks like. This small underwater motorcycle will help you explore the underwater world much more efficiently. This guy is able to surprise any bodybuilder. Don't you believe it? Take a look at the most pumped biceps that we have ever seen. You will definitely lose the staring contest with her. These are your friends when you're 16, and tell them that your parents have left home for a couple of days. This is not an airplane from science fiction movies, this is a real F-117 which refuels in the air. Until she finds water, her husband is not waiting for her to come back. After all the efforts invested in this snowman, he should also come to life that night. This is me when I go out to the kitchen at 3 in the morning, but it's better to chew food. This guy also couldn't wait for the start of the winter season to put on skis. Let's hope he's lucky enough to not crash into a tree. Even Bajira and Baloo could not have done it. Every girl should have a dress for every occasion, even if it's a skateboard ride.